Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking a topic that is pretty universally understood to be devastating, but is very rarely understood for what it actually is: betrayal trauma. If you have ever experienced the profound, totally disorienting pain of betrayal, I want to immediately validate something for you, right out of the gate. What you are feeling is a very real, very severe physical reality. It is not just an emotional overreaction, and it is definitely not something you can just get over. As the source material makes incredibly clear, the discovery of betrayal registers in the brain as a literal physical threat to your life. It's a neurobiological hijack, a brain on fire. So we're going to look at the hard science of what is actually happening inside your body. Here's our architectural blueprint for today. First, we'll look at betrayal as a physical brain injury. Second, we'll explore the glitched building metaphor of the traumatized brain. Third, we'll examine why trickle truth is a literal biological attack. And finally, we're going to look at co-regulation and how to restore safety. Let's jump right in. All right, Section 1, a physical brain injury and why betrayal hurts like a broken bone. We really need to completely reframe how we view infidelity and betrayal. Society often tells us that betrayal is just this sad emotional event, right? It's just a broken heart that needs time to heal. But the biological reality tells a completely different story. Our sources point out that a violation of trust activates very specific regions in the brain, namely the anterior insula and the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. Now, here's the crazy part. These are the exact same regions associated with physical pain. That neural overlap means the social pain of betrayal is processed by your body in literally the exact same way it processes a broken bone. The research states this so clearly. To quote the text, betrayal is a profoundly physiological event. The entire neural network associated with the partner is replaced with animosity, suspicion, and resentment. So if you've been betrayed and you suddenly feel like you're looking at a total stranger, or if your inherent drive to trust someone feels completely short-circuited, listen, that is a perfectly normal biological response. Your brain is aggressively rewiring itself to protect you. So, what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, psychologically, you see symptoms that mirror PTSD. We're talking intrusive thoughts, emotional numbness, hypervigilance. But physically, your body is sounding a massive alarm. Unexplained physical exhaustion, tension headaches, severe gastrointestinal issues, and even a completely dropped immune system. This isn't just you feeling run down. This is your body's natural response to the stress hormone cortisol flooding your system, which is a condition known as hypercortisolemia. It's not just in your head. It is deeply rooted in your biology. Let's move on to Section 2, the glitched building, taking a look inside the traumatized brain. To really grasp what is happening here, we're going to use a very specific structural metaphor. Okay, I want you to picture your brain as this massive, high-tech corporate building that has just suffered a catastrophic glitch because of this trauma. The communication networks have completely broken down, and 3 major departments are now malfunctioning in very specific ways. You have your amygdala, your prefrontal cortex, and your hippocampus. Let's break down exactly what each one is doing during a betrayal trauma event. First up is the amygdala. This is your brain's fear center. After a betrayal, the amygdala becomes the stuck smoke alarm. It is blaring incessantly, it's hyperactive, constantly scanning for threats, and flooding the entire building with cortisol and adrenaline. It gets completely stuck in the on position, which throws the betrayed partner into a constant state of hypervigilance. You literally can't calm down because your internal alarm system is telling you that your life is currently in danger. Next, we have the prefrontal cortex. This is the part of your brain responsible for logical thought, executive function, and rational decision-making. In our building metaphor, this is the CEO. But right now, because that smoke alarm is blaring so loudly, the CEO is totally locked out of the control room. The rational brain is severely compromised and basically goes offline. This perfectly explains why a betrayed partner might struggle with focus, feel completely detached, or find that rational thinking feels almost impossible. The CEO is simply not in charge right now. And finally, we have the hippocampus, which helps process memories. Think of this as the panicked librarian. Because of all those high-stress hormones flooding the building, the librarian is just dropping and scattering files everywhere. This results in fragmented memories or, on the flip side, vivid, looping, intrusive flashbacks. Your brain is just desperately trying to reorganize all these dropped files to somehow make sense of this sudden, devastating new reality. Which brings us to our third section, trickle truth as a biological attack. Now that we understand the brain is essentially on fire, we need to look at how certain behaviors post-betrayal actively pour gasoline on that fire. The sources actually identified this exact state of being as post-traumatic infidelity stress syndrome, or PTIS. It's a very real lived experience of trauma where, like we said, the rational brain is offline and the fear center is running the show. We have to establish these biological stakes because it absolutely changes how we have to view the act of deception going forward. Now, a very common manipulation tactic after a betrayal is discovered is called trickle truth. You might have heard of this. This is the phased, piecemeal revelation of new information over time. It's when an unfaithful partner admits to a little bit, but holds back the rest of the story, only admitting to more facts as they get caught or as the days go by. So here is the absolutely crucial point. Through the lens of neuroscience, trickle truth is not just about habit. It is not just a character flaw. It is a literal biological attack. Every single time a new lie is uncovered or a partial truth is revealed, it acts as a slow drip poison. It repeatedly hits the panic button, resetting the trauma all over again. It triggers that smoke alarm anew, ensuring the CEO stays locked out and completely exhausts the betrayed partner's nervous system. The brain can literally never register that the threat is actually contained. And this brilliantly illustrates why radical transparency isn't just nice to have, it is absolutely mandatory. Trickle truth maintains a chronic state of crisis and keeps the amygdala in constant overdrive. The alternative, what the sources refer to as a single truth dump, is not just a moral confession. It's actually a mandatory neurological intervention. By providing a single, complete dataset of the betrayal right up front, you allow the betrayed partner's nervous system to finally register that the threat is known, it's defined, and it's contained. Honestly, it is the only way to stabilize the system. This leads us right into our final section: co-regulation and restoring safety. Because the injury is deeply physiological, the intervention must also be physiological. The system needs repair, and surprisingly enough, the unfaithful partner has to act as the external regulator. The sources introduce a really powerful concept here. I'll read the quote. Co-regulation is the neurobiological state of felt safety, where one partner's regulated nervous system helps to calm and stabilize the others. Human physiology is deeply intertwined. If one partner broke the system, they must literally help turn off that building's smoke alarm by providing a calm, non-defensive presence that clearly signals to the brain, okay, the environment is now safe. So how is this actually done practically? The sources give us some concrete steps to reestablish safety. Step 1, full disclosure. This means laying out a complete fact map to prevent any further trickle-truthing. Step 2, non-defensive empathy. The unfaithful partner must validate the pain without making any excuses whatsoever. And step 3, a non-sexual touch protocol. It turns out that simple, safe, non-sexual touch, which must be initiated entirely by the betrayed partner, can directly stimulate the vagus nerve. This literally releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and lays the biological groundwork for trust before verbal communication is even really possible. Let's be crystal clear about what is required of the unfaithful partner here. Apologizing is nowhere near enough. They have to create an environment of absolute safety. This involves chosen transparency, providing a daily accountability log so the betrayed partner doesn't have to play detective, and answering repetitive questions without a single shred of defensiveness. They have to tolerate the distress they caused. These concrete, data-driven actions provide the tangible proof that the locked-out CEO, the prefrontal cortex, desperately needs to finally come back online. We've seen today that infidelity isn't just some emotional hurdle. It is a system-wide shutdown of the human body's core safety protocols. The brain is quite literally on fire, and healing requires precise physiological intervention. So, I'm going to leave you with this thought to reflect on. If betrayal breaks the brain, are you ready to do the deep, biological work to rebuild it? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this provided you with a clear, scientific blueprint for understanding this incredibly complex trauma.